Ooh-wee. Lads, what do we make? I get to use the pad this time, the tablet this time. There shouldn't be as many. It shouldn't, if it is, apologies, but it shouldn't be as busy tonight. Let's see how there shouldn't be as many. There we go. Sounds good. So, tablet in hand, Sunday live. How many back-to-back Sundays have we done? No, we haven't done a back-to-back Sunday. Well, we've been doing a lot more lives lately, haven't we? We let the chat fill up really, really quickly. And yeah, this was kind of a, do you know what, right? I meant to do this live or get this live put up on the channel earlier, and I just forgot. Because I actually went and set it up. I went on to StreamYard and I was like, oh, where's the live? And then it kind of hit me. I was like, yeah, didn't set it up. That's why. So this is why it kind of came a little bit, just it was there 1 minute and boom, we're live. So that's why. But it was a good night of boxing last night. It was a flipping late night of boxing, to say the least. But nonetheless, it was good. I enjoyed the concept. I think that there's a lot of other ways they can do that. Not just match in Queensbury. They can do America versus Britain. They can do Mexico versus America. Mexico versus, well, actually, no, let's not do Mexico versus the UK because that might not end well. But Mexico versus Japan, something like that. So there's a lot of concepts moving forward from this that, cheers, mate. Yeah, good to know. Good to know. You can F off because that kind of crap right there. There you go. There we go. Like, honestly, these guys, some of them just say absolute muck. They really do. They really honestly do. And, you know, chances are they're those delusional Fury fans who are, you know, upset because Jeremy Kyle is gone and they have no claim to fame anymore. Crap. But yeah, I swear to God, some of these people. Men versus women, let's not do that. Let's definitely not do that. Even the G-Man, you think Dubois will fight Joshua next? What's your thoughts if they do? Well, obviously Turki Al-Sheikh was saying that he wanted to do Joshua versus Wilder, and we all kind of knew that was really what he wanted to do. Yeah, we all kind of knew that was really what he wanted to do. He wanted to do Joshua versus Wilder. That was obviously his first choice. Could I see him do him against Zhilei Zhang? Yeah, but like, how really do you sell that? If you think about how are you going to sell that to the casual audience? Yeah, Joshua's stock is rising, but it's not what it was, say, a couple of years ago. Well, that's more than a couple of years ago now. So I think Dubois versus Joshua for an IBF title is the best thing you can do. However, and you got to chuck this in, you have to look and say, right, now the IBF have their interim title on thing. They have their IBF title on Dubois. Does that then reset the mandatory? If it does, well then what's going to happen with the IBF? Surely the mandatory resets then. And if it does, well then Alexander Usyk, I'm sure, is more than in his right to say, well, my mandatory was Hrgovic. He's now lost to Dubois. Other sanctioning bodies will reset that and push it back should you not do the same. So there's a good chance they might actually do that. Greetings, G-Man. Good to catch you live. What about Joshua versus Zhang? Yeah, like it will definitely be a massive, massive fight for the Chinese. Would they travel over to the UK? Probably going to be tricky. Probably going to be very tricky to do. I reckon they'll do him versus Dubois. Greetings, G-Man. I'm new to the chat. Eric Thompson, or Thomas, I should say. Yeah, man, how are you? We're not doing a long one, right? We're not going to be doing a long one. We're only going to be doing a reasonably shortish one tonight. And when I say shortish, we're talking 40 to 50 minutes. Because I got other stuff I have to do. I've got other videos I got to record before the day is out. So I'll probably keep this one to maybe about 45 minutes, depending on how busy the chat gets. We've already got 74 people in the building, so smash the like button if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts. I'm not too bothered about X versus Y. I'm just glad we're getting the fights we want to see. Yeah, you know, look, again, I see it. I still see it, and it's still kind of. I get it to one extent, but it's still kind of like, really, are you complaining about that? In a sense of they're complaining that the arenas aren't full and that it's void of atmosphere. And yeah, you're not wrong. It's true, but there you go. Like someone's already asked our thoughts on the atmosphere. Yeah, look, it's not the atmosphere. Now, for me, I'm normally watching them with the sound off, so it don't really bother me too much. What's going on with the atmosphere, but I get it, right? I get that. For some, they like seeing the atmosphere. They like it a little bit. And last night, it definitely looked to me as though it was embarrassingly empty for such a big event. So I get that. But would you rather it be a lively event but with crap fights all night? Because we're getting the fights we want to see. It's as simple as that. Keep up the good work by Tim. Thanks a mil, mate. I appreciate that. We've been busy, man. We've been busy the last few days. And that's going to carry on. I actually just got finished recording I don't want to call it a documentary type vid, because I'm going to do a WTF video on Adrian Broner when we hit 20K. And I want to make sure that, like, I have because I'm going to do a lot of that with audio. And I want to make sure I get the audio proper. So I done a little bit. It's only about 8-9 minutes long. Just got finished recording it there before we went live. And I don't know when I'll have it out. It needs to get done by an editor, and then we'll see how it looks. And then obviously you gotta worry about copyright and stuff like that. But if it goes well, I think you might like it. It's something that no one's done before. I don't think anyone's done it anyway. I checked and I don't see anybody doing what I just did with this one. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Opinion on Daniel Dubois blatantly juicing. Where did the stamina and punch resistance come from all of a sudden? Well, he's never shown a bad gas tank. And look, you know what I think? I think most of these fighters are juicing. It's just who gets caught. He's always shown a decent gas tank. In terms of punch resistance, against Alexander Usyk, I never thought he was really hurt. I thought it was just him giving up mentally, to be honest with you. Even the G-Man, hope you're well. Is it fair to say top 5 heavyweights are Usyk, Joshua, Fury, Parker, and Dubois? You might want to replace Dubois with Zhang. You might want to do that and get up again. Big up for the super chat, £2. Man, every little bit helps. I greatly appreciate that. It's very much so appreciated. Is Wilder Powers fake, fabricated, overrated? To say Wilder is overrated as a fighter, I would agree. But his power it's there. His power is there. Absolutely there. Why have you got no criticism for Dubois headbutting and punching low? Are you afraid to criticize Frank Warren's fighters, or do you think fouling is acceptable? Well, I criticised him aplenty in the watch-along. If you went back and watched it, and I said the referee needs to do some work. The referee needs to do some work. He needs to pull Daniel Dubois up on the head button. It's reckless. He needs to pull him up on that. He has thrown low blows. In terms of doing a video on Dubois, well, I haven't done a video on him yet. So when you say not criticizing him, listen, I don't sit around all day making videos. I got other things I have to do in a day. I only had the time to do vids on the Wilder fallout today. So did I think Dubois' performance was good? Yes. Do I think he fouled a lot? Yes. Am I surprised he did that? No. Do I think it's acceptable? Again, no. So, am I afraid to listen? How often have I criticized Tyson Fury on here? And he is Frank Warren's main guy. I'm still welcome to Queensbury shows. I'll leave it there. Love watching Dubois last night, but his dad should stay out. It's like John Fury should. His dad is not quite what John Fury is, right? His dad is not quite what John Fury is, but I think it does give him, I think he needs that little bit of a father figure there. I think he needs it. I absolutely do think he needs it. Hrgovic, or Dubois got bullied Hrgovic in there, get in, Daniel. Yeah, man. Thoughts on the atmosphere in Saudi and the time issues? See, the time issues were never an issue up until a couple of years ago, because if you remember, if you cast your minds back to the very first show that we really remember them doing in Saudi Arabia, the first big show, I should say, which was, I think, like, they done shows there prior, but the first really big event was Joshua versus Ruiz 2. If you remember that, They did that at their local time. I think it was 11. Basically, the fight was on at about 8:30. Everything was done by about 9:30 p.m. UK time. So they can't do it. I don't know why they insist on bringing these boxing shows so late in the evening. I don't know why. Are they worried about hitting in with something? I genuinely don't know. But yeah, I agree. I think they need to move the times forward at the end of the day, because it's got to be hard on the guys over there going into the wee hours of the morning as well. So I agree with you on that. In terms of the atmosphere, I don't think it's going to get any better. And listen, Saudi Arabia is not cheap to get to. So even if you want to have arenas packed, it's going to be a once-off type of thing. You know, it would need to be for a really big fight. I think a lot depends on what Turkey wants. In the past, Eddie or Frank would already be banging the drums for the IBF strap, but they seem tentative. Yeah, Turkey Halal Sheikh really is the guy who pulls all the strings. So whatever he wants, those guys just have to go with it. Dubois, shiny head, won the fight. Yeah, definitely. Hope they continue with the 5v5 concept. Every fight was very entertaining. Yeah, it really was. It really was. It was a really, really entertaining fight card. There was so many good fights. The only one that kind of let down a little bit was Wilder versus Herc, or Wilder versus Zhang, really. How could a shorter Daniel Dubois split Hrgovic's eyes open if it was his fist? Well, if you do look at it, one of the cuts was definitely a punch. So glad I found your channel. With the amount of daily videos he posts now, I have something to watch while I'm taking a dump. Nice one. Nice one. Needed to know that one, man. And you mean that as a compliment. I know you meant it as a compliment. I appreciate that. That's a nice thought. Now people are listening to me while they're taking a dump. That's lovely to know. That's brilliant to know. No, I know you mean it as a compliment, mate. I appreciate that. Listen, we try and be as consistent as we can on here with content, get it out as regularly as we can. The odd cheeky live, as we're doing with tonight, 135 in the building. If you haven't already, hit the old like button. I'll only say it a few times, I promise. Just try and, get the likes up. We've got 130 people and we've only got 22 likes. Come on. Yeah. But yeah, no, I appreciate that, mate. I really do. I think the Saudi money brings perspective, where promoters are forced to think of Turkey's plans and not just the best thing for their staples at this point in time. Yeah, it's crazy the way, Eddie Hearn, if you think about it like this, right? Excuse me, Eddie Hearn, when you look at him and say Conor Benn, he's barely mentioned Conor Benn lately. Because I think he's looking and thinking, well, look, we're getting exposure in Saudi. We're getting potential stars off these shows. We're going to get new guys turning on wanting to sign Matchroom. I'm sure he's looking at Conor Benn thinking, yeah, I'm not going to lose sleep anymore. Taking a dump is very important. Yes. Any info about Chris Andre, your mate? Do you know something? No, I don't. And I've actually been meaning to give him a text. And I probably will do it as soon as we finish up here. I've been meaning to give him a text to check up on him to see is he okay. I know he said on X that he'll be coming back soon. That was about a month or so ago. Listen, as I've said several times, I hope all is okay. I'm sure it is. He's got a lot going on. I don't know the ins and outs. It's none of my business. It's his own business. I'm not going to ask him. As long as I know he's okay. And listen, sometimes there is things that are more important than making vids. I think for me, and again, me and Chris have a lot of similarities. We see the world quite similar. We have a lot of the same interests, but we are fundamentally two different people. So what works for me, if I'm ever going through a stressful time, which would be genuinely just sitting down and making videos, what would work for me might not work for him. So, I respect that. That, you could look at something and say, well, if that was me, I'd do this, but it's not you. So look, I'll give him a text later. I am sure he's fine. I hope he is. Whatever's happening, I hope he is all good. Thank you to D Robin for the £5. Hrgovic was always overrated, sparring partner mentality, and is a bully, very arrogant. And NVR, impressed as a not very something as a pro. Great chin though, a hell of a chin. Good Lord. This guy has a chin, like that chin of his, that's made of something serious. Honestly, that really is that's a chin and a half that Filip Hrgović has. Good lord, they said Dubois had a good chin, or they said Joyce had a good chin. Man, Wilder hit Zhang flush and it didn't do anything. I'm shocked. I don't think he ever landed as clean as he probably could have, to be honest with you. I don't ever think he ever really was able to go bang, connect. Those headbutts weren't reckless, they were deliberate. Some definitely, but some of them genuinely I did look and think, you could be a bit more careful. But yeah, some of them where he just bored in, yeah, you do have to ask the question about those ones, definitely. Evening G-Man, good weekend of boxing, says David Graham. Yeah, man, it was a really good weekend. It was just tiring. As I say a lot with these Saudi shows, if you see a show in the UK, depending on the undercard, it could be over by, when I went to Hampton Shearer's Liam Williams, we were out of there by 10:30. And that's 10:30 with interviews conducted. We were out of there by 10 because we stay on after to do some interviews with the guys when there's the promoters and stuff. That was done quick. They got that done quick. What else do we have? I'm going to keep losing the chat. Would love to see a New Way versus Ball. Oh, that would be an absolute cracker of a fight. But I wouldn't give Nicky Ball a hope against the New Way. His punch output, a New Way's punch output dramatically drops. It dramatically drops when people fight him because he's so accurate and he hits so hard. What else do we have? I can also say I eat my words on my prediction. Hutchinson was the only fighter on the card I gave no chance of winning, but what a performance. Yeah, likewise, I hadn't really rated Willie Hutchinson even prior to, him going into this fight. I've always kind of looked at him and been like, hey, it's okay, but, nothing. Certainly for me, I never saw anything special. Now, Craig Richards, again, a solid fighter, but, nothing to write home about. And I think a lot of people are flattered and gassed a little bit too much by the fight he had with Dimitri Bivol, when Bivol was out of the ring for well over a year. Interesting. Wilder had PED power in the US, but goes Saudi, he loses his power. Again, I genuinely don't think Wilder lost his power. I just think he just can't pull the trigger. I think he's just shot. I think he's finished. I think that's all it is. I think that if you were talking about prime Wilder, he maybe would be able to pull that trigger. I was a bit concerned by Don Charles in the corner last night. Dubois seems like he was ignoring him and listening to his dad and Frank instead. Yeah, you see, that can cause problems. You don't want that at the same time because if your cornerman is giving... Look, we've seen it. Case in point, Usyk versus Fury. There you go. Was that... Is that another... Oh, it is another super chat. I'll read that one real quick. Thank you again to D. Robin. I appreciate the £5 yet again, my friend. Watched all Hrgovic's career yesterday. He's a serial rabbit puncher. Most of the stoppings are the back of the head. Daniel Dubois, headbutt, low blow, Merchant. Yeah, both guys. And I agree with you what you said there about Hrgovic. He does have a tendency to do that. You've definitely hit the nail on the head there. Dubois said go into the Usyk fight. If he needs to, he'll fight dirty. So why people were surprised when a low blow went in is beyond me. Honestly, did that again. And yeah, look, was it 100% clean again there against Filip Hrgovic? No. Was there points in the fight where I thought, okay, look, he is doing good work with the jab? Yeah. I'm not giving him a pass on that. Like I said, the referee should have really had harsher words with him. He didn't. And I guess if you're a fighter, listen, if you're a fighter and the referee is letting you away with it, you're not going to stop. I'm not saying it's a good thing, by the way. I'm not saying that. But I can see when we're down, I can see both sides of the argument where Dubois coming from. I'm getting away with it, so I'm going to keep going. Just off topic, Base scored the ball fourth fight, 170, 111 in fourth's favour. Can't say that personally. I can't myself, to be honest with you. I have no issue with someone giving the fight to Ford, but Wyatt, no. This was a very, very, very close fight. Very close fight. I picked Zhang to spark Wilder out early, could see it coming a mile away. Yeah, I thought he'd get him in between rounds 5 and 8, I think I said. Champions League final was the reason it was so late. Yeah, I thought that all right, the Champions League final. No offence to the guys lower down the card, but would it really have mattered as much to them? I'm just saying, there wasn't going to be that many tuning in for the undercard fight. No offence. Dubois' losses show that he will never be a world champion. He has no heart. He's certainly gaining a bit more heart now, though, to be fair. To be fair. Where are we at? This thing keeps resetting itself and going back down. Hopefully the 5v5 rematch on the AJ card in September. Let's see. But who else does Eddie Hearn have in the stable? It's time for the American audiences at home to understand our pain. Dubois has a little bit more heart than I gave him credit for, definitely. Long live G-Man. Boom. Hrgovic's fitness for the last few years has been terrible. It's been absolute muck. It really has. He's coming in way too heavy. Zhang's performance has been overlooked by people talking about Wilder being shot. Yeah, you're right. We have to give credit to Zhilei Zhang. We absolutely do. We have to give credit to Zhilei Zhang because that was a great performance. Come back after that Parker loss, boom, and as he said, he bangs everyone. He banged Matchroom. He is funny. I like Zhilei Zhang. Would love to see Ben Whittaker fight Willie Hutchinson next. The styles will blend interestingly. Yeah, that would be. I knocked the mic off there. That would be an interesting fight, actually. Willie Hutchinson versus Ben Whittaker. I actually wouldn't mind seeing that now, to be honest with you. I wouldn't actually mind seeing that. That'd be an interesting one. Can't believe the show ended at 2 in the morning. Yeah, I know, man. Honestly, you and me both, Jordan Perry. When I saw 7 p.m. start time, I was thinking, surely not. Surely not, because these fights are going to go long. You're not going to get first round knockout after first round knockout. It's not going to happen. So when that happened and I seen 7, I was like, oh God, we're in for a long one tonight. Incidents such as Daniel Dubois getting away and fouling, actually getting the W is fouling one thing, but it's putting me off boxing at this time. I get that. No, I do. I get that, to be fair. You want to see referees take the initiative and call it out regardless, and it's not a new thing. You go back and you look at some of the Klitschko performances, how much fouling he was allowed to get away with. It's not good. I certainly don't like it, and I don't know. I just think that with referees, if there's going to be no consequences, there's not much you can do. Because they just know they're not going to get pulled up on it. It's as simple as that. Big up to Mike. Evening, G-Man. Hope you're well. What's your take on where the heavyweight division is at? Every guy except Usyk in the top 10's taking an L. Who do you think is next for Parker, AJ, and Zhang? I'd say they're going to do AJ versus Dubois. Wouldn't even shock me if Parker versus Zhang 2 was on the undercard. Genuinely wouldn't shock me. All you hating on Dubois, but never said anything about Hrgovic KO'ing his opponent with rabbit punches and a serial rabbit puncher. Got my Dubois versus Hrgovic fight spot on. Was clear for me for a few fights ago that Hrgovic reached the point where he was gathering up energy and burst and is inactive. That's where Dubois would go unpunished. There are loads of fighters with Wilder's skill set who have never earned a percentage of him. The bum should have no complaints. I was thinking of doing a vid on Wilder, just comparing it. I've already done a career review on him, so I don't need to do another one. But I was thinking of comparing his resume to his contemporaries. Not necessarily the Usyks, the Furies, or the Joshuas, because they're in a different universe in terms of resumes. But like Dylan White, Joe Parker, guys like that. What part of London am I moving to? I have 2 viewings this week. I've got one in Stratford and one in Victoria. So look, preference. I don't have a preference necessarily, but one of them is unfurnished and it looks bigger than the other. So that'll be my preference. And they're both the same in terms of rent, but the unfurnished, I want a flat that's unfurnished because I want to set up a little kind of area for doing the videos, and I don't want loads of crap in the way. So that's where we're looking at. It was a Joe crowd in Saudi, different weights, not happening. We need to see a Hrgovic Dubois rematch, but Hrgovic should be allowed to have a baseball bat with him. I wonder, could they do a rematch? I wonder was there a rematch clause in there? Listen, the rematches with the Saudis, they literally seem to be, written on grated cheese, because Zhang Parker had a rematch clause. What happened there? Would love if Daniel Dubois managed to beat AJ. Amazing scenes. Hrgovic's jab is as useless as Wilder. I mean, Wilder's jab was non-existent. Wilder's legs have been gone. Yeah, Wilder should retire. Hergovic 1-2 is all he needed all night. He was landing with it. He couldn't keep it up. If the G-Man, hope you're well. What's next for Hergovic? Maybe White, if White still continues on. Yeah, what's going on with Dillian White? I might even do a video on him as well, actually, because he's someone that we could talk a little bit about. What the hell is he doing? I mean, there's literally nothing happening with Dillian White. I've literally heard nothing happening with Dillian White since he had that fight in Castlebar. Impressed how Dubois turned the fight around. 1 and 2 were awful for Dubois. Yeah, he was. He probably was behind on the scorecards, to be honest. Have I mentioned the headbutt Dubois landed? Definitely. Atelma versus Fisher. Yeah, that's an interesting one. You know, I was thinking you could do that for one of these 5v5. Instead of doing all 50-50, as in 50-50 high enough level, why not do prospect versus prospect? I'd take Atelma. He would light Johnny Fisher up. Not really, never rated Johnny Fisher. I've seen pretty much all his pro fights, and I've always been like, meh. He just looks fairly run. He's way too upright and stiff for my liking. For a heavyweight, he's way too. I don't like that. He's asking for trouble, I think, moving forward. Even the G-Man, what can I say? The card delivered in so many ways. I'm eager to see more. Shout out to Ian Hamilton every time. How are you, my friend? Yeah, mate, it was a great card. Honestly, like, I mean, I thought it would be. I thought it'd be a good card, but Lord, that was brilliant. It was tremendous. I thoroughly enjoyed last night's card. Dubois turned the fight around by using headbutts. What was your impression with that? Why were you impressed with that? I was impressed with the accuracy of his punches. I was impressed with how he was able to get his shots going. All right, I've said it before and I'll say it again. He was extremely reckless with the head. You could say it was deliberate, but I definitely am giving him no passes. Right? Compare Wilder to the other old generation punchers. Did he do well? It depends what kind of level you're looking at. I mean, most of them guys back then could punch quite well. If you're looking at someone who you could compare him to, I would say maybe a Tommy Morrison. He had really only one weapon, which was the left hook. Wilder only had the right hand. And big up to Team Batman Boxing. How are you, my friend? How are you? It was funny, Zhang. Yeah, that was funny. I'll give him that, man. That was funny. I'm a boxing purist, so I hate seeing rules being infringed by anybody. Man, it is frustrating. And I get where you're coming from. It is frustrating. And listen, as I've said, referees are just, these days, mate. I mean, you look at Lawrence Okoli and some of his fights and what they've done there, man. Oh, I don't even know what to say. Move to Victoria, not Stratford. Either or, man. Either or. Like, whichever one is best. I have a feeling the one in Stratford is going to be better than the one in Victoria. The one in Victoria looked good, but it looks small. And I don't know about that. Listen, the problem is, right, is that the flats I'm looking at in kind of southwest London, they're just all right. I've seen a few nice ones, and I like Stratford. And this one's actually quite central in the town, so it's not too far away. It's not too far away from everything. And I know Stratford quite well, actually, as well, obviously. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. We're going to view them on Friday. AG Man, a big up to the 286 project. The heavyweight division has become a lot clever over the years. Will be interesting to see how it develops over the next 18 months. It certainly will. I'm definitely looking for. I think the heavyweight division is in good hands. A big up to David Graham. You're off. Enjoy yourself, mate. Enjoy yourself. As I said, we're not going to be doing a mad long one tonight anyway, so I'll be done now in about 15 minutes. So we should be good. We should be good. I hope you have a great evening, my friend. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it does as well, man. Because Usyk has probably got one foot out the door himself. So when he goes, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be like, you know, who can pick up this belt and who can pick that one up, and then we're back into unifications. Hergovic needs to fight Majimov, Sanchez, or the winner of Joyce versus Chisora. That actually wouldn't be a bad shout, to be fair. Joyce is going to beat Chisora. Why not? Why don't we do that? Mark McCoy, good evening, G-Man. Big up to you, man. I'd love to see 5v5 Lee Wood Kikache. Great fight. Baranchek versus Smith. It's not a bad one. That's not a bad shout either. What else? I saw someone texting me there. I heard a big beep and I was like, oh, it's my phone. Someone texted me. Prospects, Barney Smith versus Hopi Price. There is a lot they can still do. You're right. There definitely is. Yeah. But I would say White more so than Fury. Huey Fury needs to rebuild. I'm picking Fisher on this one. I wouldn't pick him over most of those guys, man. I wouldn't. Is it me who thinks Apataya is mega overrated? Apataya is a good fighter. Is he going to do what Alexander Usyk did at cruiserweight? He might be undisputed because the cruiserweight division is not what it was when Usyk was in charge. So he might very well do that. Is he going to go heavyweight, be undisputed? Probably not. Probably not. Am I going to miss my current flat? Well, actually, this isn't a flat. I own this place, so it's mine, and it's in my. It's all legit. It's all me, and I'm on my own here. So I'm going from one place on my own to another, and I can come back here whenever. So it's no big deal. Like, this is mine, so I have this, and I can. I don't. You see, the thing is, right? I don't need to. I could easily, to be honest with you, I don't want to sound, like a what or anything like that. But if I really wanted to, I could probably stay here, go part time in my job, and just do vids on the side, or do vids full time, and do part time work, and easily afford everything still, and just stay in Ireland. I don't want to sound stuck up with that, but the channel has been doing very well over the last year. But I don't want to do that. I've been in Ireland my whole life. I want to be at more events. I want to go to more shows. I want to do more things over in the UK. And for me, it just makes more sense to be over there. And listen, I can always come home. Worst case scenario, I can always come home. I can always just say, right, well, it hasn't quite worked in the UK. If it does happen, and then I can just come back home, and there you go. Boom. Am I a dub? Yes. Yes, from North County, Dublin. People always ask that, and they're always like, I don't know where your accent's from. It's like, Dublin. We don't all sound like Conor McGregor, but yes, it is definitely a Dublin accent. I was hilarious, Eddie getting whitewashed. I didn't see that, man. I genuinely didn't see that coming. I genuinely didn't see that coming. Evening G, man, superb night of boxing last night. Didn't Hergic say he would retire if he lost to Dubois? I don't remember him saying that, but I'm sure he didn't mean it. Wilder got hit and thought it was the referee. Yeah, man, that was so amateurish what he did there. It really was. Will Dean White legally change his name to Dean Dubois or Dean Dubious? Shout out to Baby Ting. Big up to Baby Ting. Come to England, G-man. I can see you networking and blowing up even more. Good boxing head on you, mate. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Man, that's what I'm looking for. And I like England. I'm not one of these Irish guys who's like, oh, I don't. I like England. And to be honest with you, the country's been very good to me. I spent a lot of time in England over the last couple of years. And I've nothing but good things to say about it. I've got nothing but good things to say about it. So, for me, it was the right time. It's the right time now. And I was kind of fortunate in a sense of I'm in the right job in, outside YouTube, that I can bring that over with me. I'm making more connections in the boxing end, and things are looking good. So listen, I'm young enough, getting old, but I'm still reasonably young. I don't have any kids, so why not? Why not give it a go, see what happens? And listen, I've met I've met friends over there who are from the same area as I am, who are even older than me, and they're just seeing, how it goes. They're not even doing YouTube or anything. They're just over there enjoying themselves, and it's like, well, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. What else we got? Late to the stream. Where does the Saudi mega cars leave Boxer and then Shalom? Think of what might have been, man. I have a video that I'm going to do because Coley seems to be trying to get back into Eddie Hearn's good books. I've seen an interview he gave with IFL. Were you surprised by all the right hands that Dubois took? Yeah, I was. I genuinely was. I really, truly was. G-Man, you never mentioned Northwest London other than Wembley. You're right. You are right. There is a lot of Irish communities in the northwest of London, Wembley. I've been to Wembley. It's nice. I like it up there. Um, to be honest with you, it's not a place I've ever really. I guess because I've not spent that much time there. I guess probably that's probably the reason why. But I just like. I see. I'm very much a lover of history. So I love central London. I love walking by St. Paul's, Westminster Abbey, going to Trafalgar Square. I love being around all that. And it's closer. It's walking distance for a lot of places. And I don't know, I just like that part of the city rather than the northwest. And yeah, like I've been around Wembley a few times. I've been up there and it's nice. It's really nice. But I couldn't see myself living there. And listen, I'm leaving Ireland to go and see what England has to offer. I don't want to be spending all my time in the Irish community still. You know, do a Deontay Wilder in-depth career review. I actually done one already, man. I already done one already. It's called WTF Happened to Deontay Wilder. G-Man, are you a fan of the Shadow Boxer? I honestly can't say I know who that is, mate. If you want to put in the chat what he does on his channel, I'll certainly give it a look. But I don't think I've ever even heard that name or even seen a video recommendation from him. So I don't know exactly. I don't know what he does, to be honest with you, mate. I think Wilder lost the power in his hand. He generates power from speed, and fast speed is now slow. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it is genuinely about kind of just boom, you know, getting basically the power from one point to your end of your fist. So if you slow down, that's definitely going to affect it. That's definitely going to affect it. Not sure if you covered this before, but do you reckon? Well, who do you reckon will be on the Wembley card and the Saudi October card? We can only, man. I've given up trying to figure out who's going to be on those cards. They're normally so good. And they normally surprise us. I'd love a new way. I'd love a new way on the September card. Wouldn't shock me if they did Parker versus Zhang 2 on the Joshua card in September. I couldn't even tell you who's going to be on the other one. G-Man, True Geordie, Power Team. Yeah, I'm on. It's mad to think I'm on DM terms with him now. We chat on DMs now and again. When fights are coming up and stuff like that, I might reach out to him. He might reach out to me. It's actually crazy to think, like, the amount of people kind of like. Obviously, I've known Ade for years, and I knew Ade long before he was on the zone. So it's kind of like, it's nice to see what he's done. That I haven't met someone who's on the zone. I met someone who we did a video together years ago, and we were literally sat in Ade's front room with a mic kind of shimmied in between both of us to try and pick up any form of sound to where he's doing now when we do vids together. We're sitting and we've got a cameraman, and it's mental. So Ade, look, I still see Ade as just a mate. I don't really see him as Ade from the zone. But yeah, True Geordie, that's been crazy. Meeting up with Rob Tebber, say with proper boxing. It's crazy some of the people you get to meet along this crazy little journey. And yeah, it's honestly it's mental. It's really mental. You want to see Zhang Dubois? That'd be interesting. Are you Irish or Northern Irish? No, man, I'm from Dublin. I'm from Republic. I'm from Dublin. Are you moving on your own, or do you have a wife or SMTN to go with? No, so over the last year, I have definitely been trying my best not to get into any relationship because I knew I'd be moving eventually, and so that's what I've kind of done. I'm not married, don't have any kids, and to be honest with you, I'm happy with where I am now at this stage with that. If whatever happens in the future happens in the future, I'm seeing people my own age who are getting into, like, I've seen people my own age who are in a relationship 6 months and they're already having kids, and it's just like, what the hell, like, what the actual f, like, better now than never. Better with someone you flipping well know rather than someone you just met. Like, seriously. Thoughts on Ty and Boo currently after the Coogan situation? I haven't really watched him much since then, man. To be honest with you, I can't really comment. Oh man, Hampshire Shearers, I think he beat Eubank handily. Handily. Do you rate True Geordie? Yeah, man, he's definitely grown on me over the last 2 years. I mean, the Fury interview he gave was brilliant. And I liked his style. He wasn't pushy. He didn't try and antagonize Fury. Fury just threw his toys out of the pram. It was as simple as that. Yeah, if I had a critique over Hamza Shearers, I would agree with you. I would say he can be hit. He can be hit. And I do wonder how sturdy are those whiskers of Hamza Shearers. I do wonder that now, I have to say I do. I do. Feel like the Saudis came into boxing, AJ in his career have aged brilliantly, while Fury's done the opposite. Yeah, man, Fury, he wanted that Saudi money, he's got it, but it's cost him his own. What happened to the Irish boxing scene, the Irish title, etc.? I think there's only 2 people who have an Irish title right now. Yeah, there's not much going on with it. It's getting a bit better now. Like, there's more shows in Ireland, but I haven't gone to a show in Ireland since 2019. And I don't think I'll ever go to one again because they're not particularly good over here. The shows are pretty garbage. The fighters aren't amazing. And yeah, the boxing scene over here is really nothing. I mean, if you want to do anything, you need to get out of Ireland and go to America, or you need to go to the UK because it's just superior. You'll get more fights, you'll have better training. There's no use sticking around here. And you'll fight, if you're lucky, 2-3 times a year against absolute no hopers. I mean, these are journeymen that even journeymen could beat. And they're going the distance with a lot of them as well. I want to see Hooney again. Yeah, that fight he had with Lorena was a really good fight. I wouldn't be. I don't think he's got a particularly high ceiling. AJ versus Miller. No one wants to talk about that fight though. Sorry, Andy Ruiz versus Miller. I think it's a great fight. I love it. I think it's a flipping brilliant fight. Andy Ruiz out of the ring nearly 2 years. Big Farmer coming back off a loss. Let's see. Do you have any plans? Do you have any plans of planning the Undisputed game that is released on console later this year? It's funded by Riyadh Season. Do I have any plans on you mean playing? You mean playing? I'm not really a gamer these days, but I probably will buy it, and if I can figure out how to stream. Obviously, it's different streaming from this. If I can figure out how to do live streaming with that, I'll probably do something. Maybe on Twitch, play with some subs. Maybe something like that. It looks really good. I haven't played there hasn't been a boxing game since Fight Night Champions in 2011. I never really liked the Fight Night series. I played them. They're good fun, but they're very meh. They're not really for me, those Fight Night games. Fury's best win, Vladimir Klitschko, excellent win. Yeah. How good was and Wilder? How good was Fury really? He was a very good fighter. We will never, ever say Fury wasn't a good fighter. He certainly was. His conduct outside the ring, though, on the other hand, left a lot to be desired. It certainly did. People, 209 in the building and only 80 likes. Only 80 likes. If you haven't already, hit the old like button, hit subscribe as well. I won't ask too much more, but if you haven't already, please do hit the like button, help your boy out, and if you could, hit subscribe, of course, as well. Only 80 likes, man. That's a travesty. We need to get those likes up, man. It's 200 of you in the building. IFL interview with Cougar 1 month ago. He said, "F that. I'll retire if I lose to Dubois." He said it 2 interviews, I think. He really looked like he didn't care last night. Damn. Didn't realise that. Big up to Reese. How are you, man? You're arriving late, man. You're arriving late. I'm probably going to do another 5 minutes, and then we're going to call it, because I've got a lot of stuff still to do this evening before tomorrow. We're lucky it's a bank holiday in Ireland tomorrow. You guys had the bank holiday last week. We have the joy of having the bank holiday this week. So it's a 3-day week for me because I took Friday off. To be in London, looking at flats. And I'll be home on Monday. So I have a nice long weekend, literally looking at flats and seeing the city, where I'm going to be pretty much for the next couple of years. Let's see how that goes, man. Let's see how it goes. A shout out to Fight Sport Talk. How are you, my friend? How are you? I hope you're keeping well. Man, I wonder, are these fighters, the likes of Parker and stuff like that, I wonder, are they regretting now looking and saying, crap, I should have took that fight when I had the chance. YouTube screwed me with the notifications. Man, they are like, just honestly, they really are with those notifications. They really are. They're bad. They're bad. You'd still like to see Josh? No, no. I mean, the kind of, for me, it's gone now. And it's gone. It's gone. It's gone, man. It's gone for me. That fight. No. What age am I? I turned 30 years old the back end of last year, man. 30 years old. For now. Nah. I remember actually I'll tell you a story, right? One of my first jobs, I was 18. I worked in a chemist, right? I just done the shelves, stocking the shelves and stuff in a chemist, right? And I think I was just fresh out of school. So I was about 18. I would have been about 18 actually. I turned 19 in the job, right? And I was just turned 20 when I left it, right? So I was there for about 2 years. When I started there, I started the same time with a girl. I was 18. She was 19. All right. And she said, I'm, 19. She left school the year before me, this, that, and the other, right? She was still 19 when I left that job 2 years later. Don't know how she did it, and no one questioned it. No one questioned it. Like, it's like, what the hell? Hornhub Tarot. Right. That's an interesting name. That's a really interesting name. Hornhub Tarot. Okie dokie. Will you come London for a link up, brother? And yeah, man says, oi, G, man. And what star sign are you? If you talk about just birth sign, I am a Libra. If you talk about rising, what's my, there's a lot of other stars, your rising sign, stuff like that. But if you talk about just like in terms of date of birth, I would be a Libra, as the iPad just does. So we'll finish the last few comments as the other spare iPhone is dead too. Okay, so we're going to move this a bit closer. So it means I'm going to have to read these comments on these screens. How come you're moving to the UK? Job opportunities? Well, I can bring my job with me to the UK, so I'm lucky in that regard. But I'm moving to see if I can get to more events. I know that. I've got my press credentials with Queensbury, which is fine. So that's A-okay. I'm moving to basically see if I can get to more events, get more interviews, and just see what else can happen. Me and Ade have talked about certain things, and we'll see how they go. Nothing set in stone or anything like that. We'll see how they go, and if they go, it could go very well. I mean, very, very well. So we'll see. Nothing set in stone with that. We will talk about that in the future, but for now, it's just getting set up. Thoughts on starting up a YouTube channel? Boxed as a kid and have a lot of knowledge on the sport, but always put it off. Any tips? The best thing I would say is to just do it. Don't put it off, just do it. Just do it, because I wanted to do this channel a lot earlier than I did, and I put it off for about a year, maybe more. And I don't regret, because kind of timing worked out very well with me. I met Ade not long after starting, and that might not have happened if I'd have just started earlier. But just do it. Just do it. You need to have a plan, because boxing on YouTube, I would assume it's just going to be boxing you're going to be talking about. Boxing on YouTube is a very niche market. And I think nowadays, I'm seeing channels pop up left, right, and center. At least when I started, there wasn't many doing this, even in terms of new channels. I'm seeing new channels pop up left, right, and center. You basically need to be consistent. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to have overnight success. Listen, I'm doing YouTube for how many years? 4 or 5 years. And I'm only just about now to hit 20,000 subscribers. So, it's a grind. But it's a rewarding grind. I mean, I've loved every minute of doing this. It's been amazing. You need to be consistent. If news is happening, report on it. If fights are happening, report on them. Don't think, oh, well, you know, I'm going to go out for a drink with my friend tonight, or I can wait till tomorrow. And then you wonder why you're pulling in 10 views on a vid. Whereas if you report it, for a smaller channel, you might get 100, 200 views if you report it early. But that's still gaining new views and gaining new subscribers. Whereas 10 views, it's just not going to do anything. It's literally, you may as well not do the video at all. So you need to be consistent. You need to have a plan of action. You know, it's one thing to just start a channel and just start doing it, but you definitely need to have a bit of a plan of action. That's what I will say. But first and foremost, just do it, because you just don't know where you might end up. You genuinely just don't know where you might end up. Like I said, I started doing this talking into an old, like that iPhone that I use for reading the news is a lot more new than the one I started with. I started out talking into that with no mic, no anything. I improved, got a mic and a stand. Now I have a better mic and a stand. And hopefully when I'm in the UK, I'll have it even better. So it gets bigger and bigger. You know, you don't need mad production straight off the bat. You can improve it as time goes on. And I aim to improve it, you know, so it'll all come good, but you need to just start. You know, you're not going to have a house built like that. You need to have a foundation. You need to start somewhere. So just start it, man. That's what I gotta say. Just start it. Just do it. See where you might end up. You don't know. You don't know if you don't try. People, I'm gonna leave it there. We've just gone over the 50-minute mark. I've got a lot that I still need to do this evening. I got to get review of the week recorded, amongst other things. So people, I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Thank you to everyone who locked in. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit subscribe. And thank you to everyone who donated. Got a few nice donations tonight. Thanks a mil for that. I appreciate every one of you who did that. It goes a long way and it doesn't go unnoticed. I greatly appreciate that. Lads, it has been a blast. It's been a good one. I've enjoyed this. It's been a good little chat. I hope you are all well. I'll chat to you later for a review of it. Well, actually, it's going to go tomorrow, but you get the picture. Review of the week I ever that recorded. So, lads, I'll leave it there. Have a great evening. If you're in Ireland, enjoy the bank holiday. If you're in the UK, you got one last week, so we're getting one this week. Peace, lads.